innermost Kadamba treasures, we finished 7. We finished 7. So today we are dealing about 3, which are called 3 Vajras. And so these are all these 10 innermost Kadamba treasures are, in a way, it is a quite high level of teaching. But then, in other words, it includes in the teachings of renunciation, which is needed to the person who are aiming to achieve nirvana instead of like enlightenment. So it needs for the capacity of the learners, listeners who are in the middle capacity, and as well as for the greater capacity. So these are difficult in a way because to renounce itself is very difficult. So they have different techniques. They have different technique. Some are more related with outside, and some are related with the inner world, and some are related with even higher sort of stages of practice. Therefore, these 10 innermost treasures of Kadambas is not commonly taught. But then, of course, we tried this time, and I thought, okay, it will be very useful. As I listened this teaching from Rinzit Tempa, one of the most renounced Geshe from Tepung Monastery, but he was very humble, and he was really looked like a beggar himself. And I saw his last part of his life, and we did quite a lot of teaching and then question answer, and then I was helping him. Through this, he instinctively tells quite a lot of things without even I didn't ask him to give teaching. So many additions during when I was preparing for his scriptures, which were in his house. Now he said, I can't read in this life. And then I was asked to wrap in a nice cloth and then make all the index. And so it will be easier for the future people who will be reading this. So during that time, I think we had a lot of question answers related with the Lamrim. I asked many questions. And then also with the 3 principal aspects of path. And then also from Shanti Deva's text, which I often try to teach because now I have to repay back Rinzitapala's kindness and wisdom and his example. Okay, his example was a huge impact to so many people. So therefore, I'm carrying this teaching. Of course, it is not as profound as Rinzitapala taught, but still I'm trying to imitate. And I hope you will get something who are listening this teaching and who has been listening this teaching. So now I talk with Shahar, say that this session will be related with the 3 Vajras, and then today we complete all the 10 innermost Kadamba treasures. And then on the 22nd, and I'm going to put everything together, combine together, how everything is interlinked each other, how we can use to develop a strong determination to be free from samsara for one's own self and also leading other people to be free from samsara. So this is, in short, what I explained to Shahar, and he said he totally agree with this. And then I hope you all who are here will also agree. So the 22nd, I will be giving teaching of all the 10, how they are interconnected or integrated, and they practice by one person, and to develop strong determination to be free from samsara and making other sentient beings free from samsara. As I told you, the renunciation is the foundation of great compassion. And then great compassion is the foundation of bodhicitta and so on. So therefore, that will be on 22nd. And today I'm going to deal with the out of 10. Now, that was what I was not aimed to teach. But then Shahar was constantly writing to me, oh yeah, you are going to teach 7 innermost treasure of Kadamba, but he found 10 innermost treasure of Kadamba. So then, so okay. Then I said, out of 10, I'm going to teach only 7, which I have already done. So now this is the teaching which was not included from my view, but now, of course, now we are going to teach this today. And 3 Vajras, okay? These are, as a term, Vajra is a very tough and very, very difficult. Why it is termed as a Vajra? Vajra means either it is a firmness, okay, firm, very firm, strong, unshakable. And okay, sometimes the Vajra is translated as a thunderbolt, but and then sometimes it also symbolizes the power, okay, power. So today I'm using in the context of firm, okay, very firm, unshakable, firm, unshakable, okay. And the meaning of Vajra today, what I'm going to talk, you have to understand that Vajra means it's very strong, unshakable, very firm, okay, almost like unchangeable, okay. Of course, by itself, the practice itself changes, but then aiming to achieve something, for that, there's no way it can be changed. So it has to go till it really achieved, okay. That is the meaning of the firm and power or strong, okay. And these teachings are used by the great Kadamba teachers, okay, especially those great Kadamba teachers who left huge teachings in the world of Tibetan Buddhism and followed the teaching of Atisha. All these great Kadamba teachers are follower, directly or indirectly, the follower of Atisha, who was the last Indian teacher invited to Tibet. And Atisha gave lamp to the path of enlightenment in the request of our king, young king, Changjuk. So from there, and then it slowly, the Kadamba tradition existed in Tibet. And Atisha's main teacher, disciple was Domdamba. And then there were many teachers, Kadamba teachers. So this teaching of 10 innermost treasure of Kadamba are taught by these great teachers, starting from Atisha, Domdamba, and then Sharava, Chekapa, and many teachers, okay? And then my request every time is that we have to practice. Just by listening is not enough. We have to practice, okay? And starting from the beginning, our practice may not be so profound as taught by the Kadamba teachers. But we have to try inch by inch, day by day, hour by hour. We have to try to go closer to how they practiced, how they taught us, okay? So this is very important. Otherwise, I think we are gathering, and I'm trying to give teaching is, of course, very good and nothing wrong, but it will be not so beneficial as expected by great Kadamba teachers. And then my teacher, Gerizit Tempa, who was, I think, one of the highest renounced teacher in Tibetan Buddhism. And of course, he was Indian from Kinnaur in Himachal Pradesh. And he came to Tibet. At that time, no Indians need any passport or paper, so they can directly come to Tibet to study Buddhism. And then he studied Buddhism in Drepung monastery, and he did his Geshe, and then he came to India, and of course then we lost our country, and he has been practicing in many isolated places. I have maybe sometimes I will also tell some story about his life, okay, if it fits into today's topic. So now today the three Vajras, okay. In Tibetan we say three Vajras. In Tibetan, Pema, Dorjee, Ngolatang. Pema, Dorjee, Ngolatang means this is a Vajra which is against, which is counter measure those practitioners who are about discouraged by surroundings or by relatives or by families or like this. Okay, they are about discouraged to be renounced. And then this Vajra is used, okay, to stop this discouragement to be renounced and try to be firm, okay, try to be firm to be practitioner. So this is called Teme Dorjee, Ngolatang. That Vajra has to be starting from the beginning, okay, needed in the starting from the beginning or about to start renouncing, or when about started renouncing, or when you started renouncing in the early stage. And this Vajra is very, very needed. And then the second one is Chelme Dorjee Jelasha, means Chelme Dorjee means the Vajra when we were totally renounced, and then we may encounter so many embarrassing remarks or commands or things, you see. And then we started, sometimes we started losing our determination, or sometimes we started changing our mission. So for that, we should not change our mission, and we should not we should not feel embarrassed, you see. So to dismantle this, and then we need this Vajra, which is called Vajra to dismantle embarrassment, okay? And then the last one is the Yishe Dorjee, Ngolatang. Yishe Dorjee Rang Da Pro. Yishe Dorjee is the Vajra which is used with the wisdom, okay? Why I'm doing this? It has its own meaning, it has its own purpose, and the purpose and meanings are totally analyzed through the wisdom. So therefore, this Vajra has to be all the time when we are practicing, because constantly we face problem, either from outside, mostly from inside, and then this analytical Vajra, which is a wisdom, needed everywhere. When we have started making mistake due to our destructive emotion or due to our ignorance, so then this wisdom Vajra, Yishe Dorjee, is always needed. So that is like we need this as a company when we are practicing the Buddha's teaching. So these are the three Vajras I defined roughly. And so now I will go again slowly. So now we did 4 settings of the mind, okay, 4 settings of the mind. And then we also talked about going out of the human society and human life and enter into the dog's life, and then achieve either Buddhahood or Nirvana. So this is a 3 set. So these sets are already taught. So when we are as a normal person, okay, as a normal person, for example, of course, I can use some other stories, okay. For example, okay, Buddha, okay, when Buddha Shakyamuni was Prince Siddhartha, and he was born in a palace, and he was brought up by the king and queen Maya Devi in a very, very luxurious way. And he taught all the skills needed to be a king. And he also got married. And between them, there was a son called Rahula. So he had a very, very nice life. And he has many servants. And he has a kingdom. And the father's mission was that Siddhartha will succeed the kingdom, Shakya kingdom. And that was the main aim of the parents and the subject under him. But then he was not so keen in it. Okay? And so he wanted to see what I can do best for the subject, for his subjects. Okay? If he totally occupied or enjoy his family life, he has a big protection from his father and mother, and he had a very beautiful wife, and he had a very nice son, and all the servants are around him to serve, to entertain him, to make him happy. Very, very luxurious life. But then he was not so happy. Now here, now you have to think, okay, now to come out of this circle, leaving his parents, leaving the kingdom, leaving the palace, and the most sensitive thing is he leaving his beautiful wife and a very, very lovely son. And then, of course, there are many other nice things. To leave this, okay, to leave this and go away from there and to practice, to search something else which is more beneficial for everybody, not only for his family. And then he has to make a big determination. He has to make a big decision. He has to see that he has the potential to do much more than what he is doing in his palace. Okay? He has a potential. He can do much, much more. And that much more can cover so many people, not only his parents, his wife, and his son, and his nearby subjects. Not like this, okay? And this is a small circle. And if he just go on spending his life in this way, then his potential will be used in a very small circle of human beings, okay? And then he thought, okay, his subjects are relying on king, and he really like to do a lot of good things for so many hundreds of thousands of people, which is much more than his wife and his son. But then still it is so difficult to say goodbye to his son and to his wife. The mission is he really wanted to do something very, very important thing for everybody. For that, temporarily, he has to sacrifice something. He has to sacrifice his kingdom. He has sacrificed his palace. He has sacrificed his parents. And then most importantly, he sacrificed his wife and his son, which is a very, very big thing, you see. So, because of his first Vajra, okay, first Vajra says that even if you have family, you have parents, you have relatives, you have so many friends, even they are screaming, please don't go, please don't go. They are weeping and they are just requesting him, holding him like this. Still, your determination, your inner Vajra, to be not listen to them is very important. If you listen, then you will never be able to do so many good things for so many human beings. You will be trapped into a small circle with your wife, with your son, and with your king parents, you see. So this is so small. So you have to make a big decision with your strong, firm, unshakable Vajra, which will not allow you to surrender. If they say, please don't go, we miss you. If they cry, you have to have a firm determination, which is the first Dorjee, okay, first Vajra. Teme Dorjee ngolatang. Tep is if someone request, okay, request, and then me is don't listen, because you have much more bigger mission, bigger important things to do, bigger things to achieve for every sentient being. For that, if you just listen to your wife and son and your parents, and then you can be a good king, but that is far not enough. So if he listened all those king and wife and his ministers, and then today we will not have this wonderful teaching taught by Buddha. Even after more than 2,500 years, still we are using his teaching. And even today, it is so relevant to the lives of so many people. And now even the scientists are agreeing with the Buddha's teaching. And this Buddha's teaching has been used since Buddha gave teaching, okay? Millions of people benefited from this teaching. Millions, hundreds of thousands of people achieved nirvana, achieved enlightenment, and they achieved high level of mental state. This is because he used his first Vajra, saying that I don't want to listen to a small group of people who are saying that please don't go, please don't leave us, you are so good, we will miss you, and cry like this. He said, okay, this is also quite touching, but this is not worth spending life only for those people. I have to use my life for many people, including those who are requesting him to stay at home. At the end, when Buddha achieved enlightenment, they become also Buddha's disciple. So these types of wisdom, far-sightedness, a really enlightened mind, okay, really enlightened mind, so logical and so vast, and so compassionate, so wise. And these are possible if we take the decision with the determination by using the first Vajra, which will never allow us to discourage, to be renounced, or to be compassionate, or to be wise, okay, for the sake of all sentient beings. And it will not listen to be hanging around a small circle of people. Oh, my son, oh, my lovely wife, I love you. And then, oh, my father who has taken care of me, so I have to take care of maximum of them. And that is so small, because Siddhartha has much more capacity. And every one of us has a big capacity. So we have been conditioned. We have been conditioned to listen in my case, okay, I listen a lot about my mother, from my mother. And we have been very close, okay. And, I listen to her a lot. And then now I have my niece and my great-grandniece and nephew, and I listen to them a lot. So I feel okay, I would have done in the same way as Buddha did, okay. So that is, I think, very good practice when it comes to the decision that how much I can benefit. Today, all these leaders, okay, leaders, Indian leaders are responsible only for Indians, okay? And they're so attached to India. And then some other leaders, like say American leaders, they love American leaders, American, and they do everything for the benefit of American. And then, of course, there are so much conflict, you see. If these leaders think as a global user for all sentient beings, all human beings, as their responsibility to solve problem and to make happy, they have the potential, but they are not using it this way. And then today, I think now we are just entering into a very difficult situation. And among the neighbors, okay, and then among the business people, so much competition, and because of this competition, the basic good human qualities are destroyed. And then because of this greed, okay, not thinking for whole world, just out of greed, I need everything. I need the best, biggest profit. Because of this greed, now our planet is on danger of destroying. If someone has a real sense of thinking like Buddha, okay, very important, big, and then today he's always all the time teaching, saying that we need to develop oneness of human being. We have to feel that whole humanity, 7 billion human beings, are one family, and each of everyone as a family member, and each and every one of us has a responsibility to make good contribution, and everyone has a responsibility to solve many problems. If we think of everyone as a one human family, and everyone takes the responsibility to build this human society healthy and happy, and then it is possible. But we divide it, okay? This is Europe, this is America, this is Asia, and among Asia, this is China, this is Russia, this is India, and by doing this, and what we are today now. So therefore, Buddha's teaching has so much meaning, and these Vajras are to encourage to do this, okay? In a normal human being's life, to take like this decision, saying that, oh, my family is not that important, but all sentient beings are much more important than this. For that, I'm going to sacrifice my life. For that, I'm going to do everything. Even my wife is shouting to me, or even my mother is shouting to me, or even my daughter is shouting to me, I will not listen. So I have to do the responsibility of all sentient beings. So this makes our hearts very big, okay? It destroys our narrow-mindedness. It destroys our narrow-mindedness. This Vajra, okay, first Vajra. So therefore, first Vajra is in the beginning, when you started, or when you already started, or you are starting to renounce, you encounter so many discouragements, okay? So to remove this discouragement, and then encourage yourself to be renounced and to do something very meaningful. And that Vajra, okay, which gives us very strong, unshakable decision, say that I wanted to achieve nirvana, okay? For the sake of everybody, I need to achieve. For that, I should not listen to a small circle of people. So I'll say, no, I have to do bigger job. And you are also included. So that is more or less the meaning of first Vajra. which in Tibetan is called Pema, Dorjee, Ngolatang. Pema, Dorjee, Ngolatang means it has to be the first Vajra, okay? Pema means if someone says, oh, please don't go, don't listen this, okay? You have the possibility, you have the potential, and then your mission of doing something for every sentient being should not be discussed by few people, calling as a friends or parents or family or children. So you have to take the decision. And this strong wish or strong determination is mainly rooted or generated or supported by this Vajra. Okay, this is the first one, and the second one is the Tilme Dorjee Jilasha. Tilme is that when you become renounced, okay, you totally renounced, and then your mind is set to Buddha's teaching, and your mind is set to become a beggar. Your mind is set to die in a barren, hollow place. And when your mind is set in this way, and you go on practicing this, and then you need this second Vajra, they will say, oh, he is so stupid. He left his beautiful house. He left his beautiful family. And he has so many nice children all left. And he has a huge property left. Now he's like a beggar, nothing. And his clothes are so poor. His bodies are so dirty. And his hairs are never washed for so many months. So then people look down. People say so many bad things about that person who is totally renounced at that time. And then you should not change your mind. What you are doing, and you are not paying attention to this unnecessary or not important things, you see, just washing and then hanging around friends and the wife and the children. All these are just not so much meaning. Almost like you are saying you are wasting your time, life. If you use this life for the purpose of achieving something, compassion, great compassion, loving kindness, wisdom, renunciation, and this will benefit so many people, you see, so many people. So therefore, you should not feel ashamed. You should not feel embarrassed by having very poor clothes, living in a very bad house, or like almost like you have no dignity in the society, or people might call you as a stupid person or beggar, or they may say many other things, you see, bad things. They think that they are very good. They are wearing suit and tie, and then they are very nice, expensive shoe, and then hair's nicely combed. They say that, we are so good. Actually, the person who is totally renounced and aiming to achieve something good for every sentient being is much more better, 100% better than person, okay? Having a lot of money. Today, some rich people, they have so much money, but then some rich people, I heard sometimes they don't have proper sleep. They can't sleep properly, but they have a lot of money. But these people who are just only aiming to do something great for all sentient beings without differentiating, even those who are harming to them, they really want to do something good for them. Some are hating to them, but they want to show compassion, wisdom, tolerance. And these types of people are so precious, so precious. So precious, you see, so precious. And these people are so precious. They can make huge contribution to the whole world. And today, so many people, even we are now in Dharamsala, it's a lockdown due to COVID-19, but so many people are receiving, listening, teaching from His Holiness Dalai Lama through online, through, I don't know, Facebook, I don't know. So many young people, college student, and well-educated scientists. Okay, so many people are listening. They are trying to get appointment with him, from Europe, from Asia. He's only one person. Why everyone is longing to listen to his teaching? Because he is so compassionate and he's so wise, and his way of thinking, everything is for the benefit of 7 billion human beings. Okay, he never differentiate. His whole life is spent on this mentality. So one person, how much he can do? If we tried in the same way as His Holiness tried, we will also be the same, you see. But we didn't use this Vajras, okay? We are just wasted our energy for few people, okay? And we put all the money in the bank for the sake of few people. And we build huge infrastructure, business infrastructure for the sake of few people. And we are unable to use all these things. If this is meant for all sentient beings, how beautiful, how lovely, how important, how precious that will be. Because it didn't happen because we didn't use any of the Vajras. So the second Vajra is, we have to have this Vajra, strong inner strength, which is called Vajra, okay? That whatever they call me, beggar, shameless, ugly, dirty, whatever they say, based on their mentality, I will not lose my hope. I will never change. I will remain as I decided to do good thing for every sentient being. I don't want to waste my precious life for the sake of small circle of my family or a small circle of my society. No, I really want to do something good for every sentient being. For that, even they put a very bad remark on me, criticize me, look down on me, make me totally embarrassed, I will not lose my hope. I will remain unchanged, strongly to achieve innermost treasure of Kadamba. I will practice my inner practice, great compassion, great loving kindness, great wisdom, everything. I will focus on this, and ultimately my aim is to benefit all sentient beings. This is much more important than to be involved 100% for few people or small society. I think now this is I think this is enough. Of course, these are interlinked. So when I explain one Vajra and it touches the other one, and when I'm explaining about second, then it also touches the first one. But this second Vajra is mainly for protection for you to lose your hope. If some stupid people says very bad things, make you embarrassed, make look down on you, and use very bad names, criticize everything, and then at that time, you should not lose your determination. Instead, okay, let them say, it doesn't matter so much, okay? If they say that this man is great, it doesn't make any it will not make me great all of a sudden. If there's a so stupid and the most stupid person on this planet, I will not be the most stupid person on this planet. What I decided based on Buddha's teaching, I will stand on it. I will continue to practice and achieve. If you are doing this, then you are using the second Vajra. You are protecting yourself from all this criticism and embarrassment and using a shameless person. All these are protected by this Vajra, okay? This is called Telme. Telme Toje Jelasha. Actually, Telva is embarrassed. Telme means no embarrassment. Even someone says so many bad things to you because of your decision to become renounced. And then your mind will never change because what you decided or what you have chosen is correct and it has a lot of meaning. And whatever they say is just hollow words, okay? If they say stupid, they say shameless person, and they say beggar or whatever they say, it doesn't make much sense, you see. Why should we bother? So this is the second. For the first Vajra, I told the story of Buddha, okay? And now for the second, to support the explanation of the second Vajra, which is to fight against embarrassment because of your sacrifice, because of your renunciation. People might call you stupid and beggar and then poor and shameless, and then they may call so many different bad names. So to to overcome, okay, to overcome this, now we ask question, okay, if someone calls us like this, what experience we will get? What will be our reaction? I think we will get angry, isn't it? And at least I think we will say, shut up. Your mind or your business. You might say, okay. And we might say, oh, that person's so bad. We are doing so good, but they are very bad. We might say something not so meaningful, you see. But these great teachers like Kadamba teachers are so wise, okay. And the ones, okay, now this to support the second story, I'm telling the story between a story about Milarepa's life. Milarepa was totally renounced, okay? And then he had a sister called Pedaguji, okay, Pedaguji. And she was so attached to Milarepa. And she was like, she was a beggar. She was begging. And then she comes to meet Milarepa. And Milarepa has no proper clothes, no like beds or bed sheets, nothing. Okay, he just stay in anywhere in a barren land. And then at the time, the pedagogy was a little tired because she was baking and then serving him sambas and some other things, you see, to make him a little bit better. So he serves. And then he has been doing this again. And Milarepa never went to acquire good food, good clothes, good property, good house. Never went. He just go practicing. Even some people say that he's mentally not fit or some bad things about Milarepa, but he didn't pay any attention. He was doing his practice. And Pedagogy was thinking, what my brother is doing. He practices something no Buddhist monks and nearby, they are not doing this. They have good house, they have good food, they have good dignity. But my brother is like beggar, has no, even he couldn't cover his female part of the body properly. Now what is this, okay? And she has been begging and then supplying to him. One day he asked, to his brother, say that, what is this practice? I saw so many practitioners. I have not seen like you in my whole life. What is this practice? From my view, this practice is something not very right. So please, I have been struggling for feed you, and please, if there's possibility, please change this, okay? Do as other practitioners doing. Nice house, nice clothes. And then Milarepa said, we are different practitioner. And so this I think you better to understand, what is really the real practices. And so I know this is not wrong. And if you want to supply food, okay, very good. If not, still it's okay. But don't worry about me. And their way of practicing and my way of practicing is different. And I know that what I'm practicing is taught by my teacher, Marpa. And I strongly believe in it. And I wanted to spend whole my life to practice this. And please, don't misunderstand. So it was a big song, he sang to his sister and explaining the importance of what he's doing. A renounced person, like a beggar, no proper house, no proper shelter, no proper food, no proper clothes, just renounce everything. So to that time, he also encountered, embarrassment. And then in some place in Myanmar, there were some young girls are coming to fetch water. They have their own wooden bucket, which we carry on the bag. So they brought this, and then they came to the river. And then they saw Milarepa coming. And they were so afraid by seeing Milarepa, who was like a very poor and very hairs are not combed and no clothes like this. So they ran away from there. And then Milarepa said, please don't run away. Don't run away. I am proper human being. And so my name is Milarepa, and I'm not going to harm you. So please don't run away from me. And those girls stay back and say, oh, I really don't like to be born like that person. If I die, I really don't like to be born like this person. And then Milarepa laughed and said, even you try to be born like me, don't worry, you will never be born like me. So these are the differences. These young ladies are using our mentality. which is so attached to have a proper clothes, proper place to stay, and then proper comb, and then putting a lot of colors on the lips, and so many things, you see, which are so meaningless to the eyes of Milarepa. And his inner development of great compassion, loving kindness, wisdom, tolerance, a single pointed, all these are so valuable, okay? As I told you, the Buddha's achievement, which happened more than 2,500 years ago, now still we are using. If Buddha earned some money or Buddha made his palace very rich, we will not get even a coin today. That is why we have to use the third wisdom. Third wisdom is Vajra or wisdom, okay? Vajra wisdom said, okay, now I have to use my potential for the purpose of the best for the humanity. Best for the humanity. To choose the best for the humanity, we need a lot of analysis. We need a lot of research. We have to think a lot. We have to analyze which is good and which is bad and everything. And then go on putting effort, thinking that this is the right thing to do. And that if I follow that, this is the wrong thing to do. So just using this, not falling into a wrong path, which looks good to the eyes of stupid people, and which are so profound, but which looks so bad for the poor people, stupid people. See? So there we need a wisdom. There we need a wisdom. And that wisdom has to be always follow with you as a guiding force, as a giving energy to stay, to practice strong. Okay, this is the right thing to do. So that is called wisdom, Vajra of wisdom, which is called Geshe Dorjee. That has constantly with you, okay? Constantly with you. So more. Choose that. Munajos. That's Amazon. And that should be charged. We had got a sorry.
Ben 병서.
And a sorry.
술은 수고를 교회를.
아니, 그냥 동통이야.
큰 사람 동거 때인데요.
안 돼.
취향을 진진지만 통마.
안 돼, 그래. 이게 more or less, my explanations are done, and of course, these Vajras are interconnected. So if you don't see very clearly, my explanation are quite close to each other, and also I'm very stupid. You see, I'm not very wise. I'm not very clear. My English is broken. So therefore, you might see that between them, what is the difference, you see? What is the difference? You don't have to understand the difference, you see. Just practice, okay? Just practice. I always say, and when I visited Sweden the first time, and they organized a tour. At that time, my English was even poorer than today. It was 98. Or 97 or 98, yeah, 98. My English was poorer than today. So this was all on the spirituality and religious issues, okay? And there were about 30 people, young people who looks very intelligent. And so then I gave a short talk, and then I asked them some questions to me. And then one of them said, what is the difference between Hinduism and Buddhism? And then I said, Of course, actually, I studied quite a lot the difference between Hinduism and Buddhism, because we study quite a lot, you see. But then I'm very negative. If someone asks this question, I feel very negative. So I said, oh, no, I don't want to give answer to this question. Instead, if you ask me, what is the similarity between Hinduism and Buddhism? Then I can give some answers, okay? Because by seeing the differences, and then we are going far from each other. Is this and that. Hinduism is like this, and Buddhism is like this, and Buddhism, my religion, it has this, and this is their religion. Then we are dividing, going far, slowly, like this. So therefore, whenever they ask question about the religion, I really don't like to know what is the difference between. I like to know what is the similarity. As His Holiness is totally focused on promoting interfaith harmony. And how does he do? He says, okay, all the religion, okay, all the major religion in the world, they teaches us loving kindness, compassion, and tolerance, and forgiveness. And these are so important for every sentient being. Therefore, we can develop respect to other religion. Even I'm Buddhist, still I can develop respect to other religion. Why? Because this religion teaching loving kindness, compassion, tolerance, and then ethical values, which are so important. So important. If we see this similarity in all the religion, and then we started having respect to others' religion also. If we see difference, then we started hating. Why are you doing this? We do all these things. Therefore, I like, and His Holiness always say that even if all the world religion has differences, okay, and this is nothing wrong, because if we have only one medicine to treat all the disease all over the world, it is impossible to treat. We have many varieties of different types of medicine. Therefore, it is possible to treat. In the same way, we have so many different mentality in the human family. So each family mentality has its own teaching, need different types of teaching. And it serves good purpose. So one medicine cannot solve the problems of disease of the world. In the same way, one religion cannot solve the problems of the whole world. So therefore, we try to see from the perspective of similarity. So therefore, these three Vajras, within them, a lot of similarity. And but when you use it, okay, when you use due to different circumstances, okay, and then it has differences, different skill and different potential to fight against these sort of destructive emotions. So therefore, instead of like talking about the differences, of course, I like to talk about similarity among the human being. If we meet two human beings, I try to see the similarity between them and similarity between me and them. And this is the ground where we can develop friendship. This is the ground where we can connect each other. So in the same way, these three Vajras are affecting each other, influencing each other. Because there are so many similarities among them. So even my explanations are not so clear. If you see many similarities among these three Vajra, it's okay. But you can see also some differences, isn't it? With this understanding, I think that is okay. Yeah. So anyone, you have some questions?
Has a question, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask the question. I'm saying if anyone has a question, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes.
Ask the question.
Yeah. So now, if you have no question, it's okay. Don't worry. And so we always have to check our mentality, okay? Our mentality. And if I have to decide to devote my life to practice with 100% and totally renounced, and will I be able to go away from my family? Or will I be able to go away from my business or my professional job? You ask this question. And then, of course, it is very important to ask this question. Why these three Vajras are so important? All these great Kadamba teachers, they practice these. They really, really sincerely practice for whole their life. And why this is so important? Maybe you understood a little bit from my explanation, and then from the example of Buddha and Milarepa and many other great teachers, okay, who devoted their life, and they didn't waste their part of life. They just totally devoted their life for the practice of Buddha Dharma, okay? They didn't pay so much attention for their health, physical health. They didn't pay so much attention for the food, like nutrition and all these things. And they didn't pay any attention to make their face very beautiful, like hair cutting, and then style of things, and then wearing very expensive shoes and so on. They didn't pay. Why? They see this is so meaningless. This is so meaningless. Of course, it is so difficult to say today in today's world. So difficult to say. And if I talk this in the market, I think they will shout to me that you have to go to mental hospital. I also heard like this story many times, you see. Those people are so renounced, so wise, and practicing all these important mind, bodhicitta, and so on. Some people, they see them as like a mentally not fit. So to explain like these three Vajras in a normal sort of world is very difficult. But to me, because most of you have been listening Buddha's teaching, even you have received so many tantric teachings also, and then mind training quite a lot. Because of this, and then it is quite convenient to speak or explain these types of teaching. If you didn't listen any teaching, freshers, I might feel a little bit uneasy to explain this, okay? And then to some of my friends also, if I have to explain this in a very naked way, it's quite difficult. I might feel that, or maybe they will not understand, or most important thing is that they might not accept this. If they don't accept, then what is the use of teaching this? So now we have finished all the 10 innermost treasure of Kadamba, which great Kadamba teachers like Atisha, Tomdeba, Chekaba, Sharaba, and then Kishinamri Thangba. All these teachers practice this, and they become very profound teacher. And today we are fortunate that we can listen to their teaching, we can read their teachings, and we can contemplate their teachings, and we can try to practice their teachings. And this makes us better human being. But better human being, one better human being can do huge contribution for the rest of the world. And we have to try, okay, we have to try. Not say, I want to be happy. That is not enough. I will try to understand this. I will try to practice this. And then I will try to read, listen as much as possible, and then try to contemplate, think. And then if I get the real meaning out of this, then I will try to talk with other people. Try to share with other people so that everybody will think in this way. And then this will change, as His Holiness is expecting that if I try to talk with 10 persons, and then 10 persons will have some impact from my teaching. And those 10 people, each will take 10, and it will have an impact of 100 people. In this way, the waves of Buddha's teaching, waves of teaching related with compassion, waves of the teaching related with wisdom, will slowly go into the heart of the people. And this will be the only solution to change this world into a peaceful world. Because peaceful has to be changing our mind, compassionate, loving, caring, non-violent. Then only the world will be peaceful, okay? Just controlling the weapon, don't do business, don't do this. And they do anyhow, they do. The changing outside doesn't make any sort of much difference, you see. Even we have a convention like, say, it doesn't make so much sense. Even we are United Nations. You see the fighting. And so if we change and we just change by thinking that all human beings are sane, longing for happiness and don't want to suffer. If I wanted to be happy and I don't want to suffer, if I have every right to achieve this, and every human being has every right to do this, you see. So if someone started harming me, I get angry and I say, you have no right to harm me. And the same way, if I start harming someone, some person may also say, I have no right to harm them. Each and every one has no reason or no solid reason to harm others. We have no right, you see. Because we are sane, longing for happiness and don't want to suffer. If I wanted to be happy and don't want to suffer, this is my right. And everyone has the same right. We're thinking this, okay, then if we are able to think the whole world is longing for happiness, don't want to suffer, and that is much more reasonable to achieve if we shake hands, if we love each other, we become friendly to each other, then our mission of achieving happiness, solving problem is possible. And longing for happiness, solving problem, if we just go on fighting others, it will multiply the fighting, unhappiness, anger, hatred. It goes against loving kindness. And so therefore, and these Vajras are so useful when you started deciding, okay, what I want to do, what I want to achieve, not only for the benefit of myself or my family, but for the benefit of whole world, whole humanity. Even if you can't do whole world, but even just in Dharamsala, okay, I really want to do something good in Dharamsala. For that, I have to overcome so many obstacles. I have to sacrifice so many of my personal sort of attachment. So in a small scale, also we can use these three Vajras, and in a bigger scale, of course, this we can use. And best possible example I put was the Buddha's life.
Geshe?
Yes?
Geshe, hi. Before Tammy had a question, she wasn't able to unmute. I will unmute her now, if it's okay. She will ask
Yes.
a question. Yeah. Tammy, I think you're unmuted. Please try. Nope, we don't hear you.
Hello?
Tammy, maybe your microphone.
So bon. Did you go away? Okay.
Tammy, maybe you write the question and we will ask on your behalf.
Is she there?
She's there. She's there, and yeah. But her microphone is not working, so
I see.
she will write her question and we will ask on her behalf.
Okay. Yeah.
Geshe?
Yes?
This is Shachar. Good morning.
Okay.
How are you, Geshe?
I'm okay. I'm good. Yes.
Thank you very much for a beautiful teaching. Is it possible to ask one technical question, actually?
Yes.
In the verse, last teaching, last Saturday, we spoke about also the three principal aspects of the path, about the verses of about renunciation.
Yeah.
And then in this verse about how to cultivate renunciation, develop renunciation,
Yeah.
there is the mention of precious human life and rebirth, and then Ledger Milu Korwe Tukmin Nam, Samne Chiminam Chedo. Is this actually using what is known in English as the four ways of transforming the mind, or aiming the mind as a Dharma? Namshi Lodro. Is this actually...
You mean Lodo Namshi?
Lodo Namshi, yes, sorry.
Yes,
is this actually...
Yes.
This verse actually speaks of the four thoughts of transforming the mind into the Dharma?
Yes, but then in the three principal aspect, the Tsongkhapa's explanation is a little bit different, you see. So he divided into two, okay?
Yes.
Means to remove the attachment in this life, we have to contemplate the preciousness of human life and the impermanent nature of the human life, and what will be the best after death, and then the practice is the best. The practice will be the best, okay? So these things are just to remove our strong attachment in this life, either relate with the ear or nose or eye, whatever, okay? And then by thinking this, and we will be able to free from this attachment, okay? And then, because we achieved a very precious human life, which has so much potential to do so many good things. If we use small things like in this world, then this is not worth spending the precious human life. Of course, if it is permanent, and we can say, okay, I will do it next year, but it is impermanent. So whether tomorrow will come first or death will come first, we don't know. So we have to do today. Through these practices, okay, we minimize the attachment of what is appearing today in this life. And then by seeing the law of karma, and then even if we are expecting something good rebirth, human rebirth or rebirth in heaven, it has not much meaning, because after all, it will born and then it will end. And then during the birth, during the lifetime, lot of problem. So there's no worth, there's nothing worth to attach to this good human rebirth. Is the sufferings in the cyclic existence, okay? By thinking this and then to acquire a good rebirth, it is a good, but it is not so meaningful from the perspective of renunciation. So with these two combined together, and then we started renouncing and let him look at the answer. By meditating on these issues, and then our mind started growing that, oh, wherever we are born in this samsara, okay, higher realm or lower realm or wherever, okay, we born, it's all end up with sufferings and sufferings, okay? Therefore, I really wanted to be free from this samsara. Determination of free from samsara to achieve nirvana. And you go on meditating on this, and at a time, your mind is so changed that day and night you will have a determination to achieve nirvana. And then your mind is changed into renunciation. So two factors, okay? Two factors. So we are not using our precious human life properly. We are wasting so much, you see. Sometimes I also notice that we are unnecessarily going to the kitchen many times. And we are unnecessarily going to the toilet. And just, and then we are picking up book and then dropping it down and picking it up and then dropping it down. In this way, we are wasting our life. We are wasting our precious human life. We are not using our real intelligence, how to use our precious life nicely. So now teaching, if you just go on entertaining your five sense organs, sense consciousness, and your attachment will be growing, 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 and you will never get ultimate satisfaction. Instead, it will ruin your potential. And then even if you try to be born in a good realm, okay, good rebirth, still that good rebirth is subjected to fall down slowly, slowly, end up with a different disease and then death, you see. And again, we remain empty-handed. So therefore, we should not be attached to this, and we have to be renounced from there. And then we wanted to achieve something which is free from this cyclic existence and then the experiences in the cyclic existence. And that is nirvana, okay? That is only possible if our mind is changed into renunciation, having no attachment, okay? No attachment. Instead, they see so much defect, mistakes. And then the mind slowly changes into a mind which is aiming to achieve nirvana for the sake of one's own self, and then really don't want to stay in this cyclic existence. This is so much problem, and I don't like this, and I really wanted to be free from there. So I think it doesn't make sense.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So the way Lama Tsongkhapa explained this is the first 2 points are help to generate the mind of this from the Lamrim context. The person of small capacity motivation is generated using the first two contemplation of thinking of the precious human life and impermanence and death, and then using the other two factors, one develops the motivation of the person of middle capacity.
Yes.
Is that right? Mhm.
Yes. In Lamrim, you have like a lesser capacity and the middle capacity. This teaching, what I taught now, is more or less like middle capacity teaching, because it is aiming to achieve nirvana. So lesser capacity is aiming to achieve a good rebirth, good human rebirth. By practicing the ethical disciplines, by maintaining the 10 virtues action, and not committing all the 10 non-virtues action. These are the main factor to be born as good rebirth. And then that is also vehicle, okay? By having good rebirth, then the possibility of cultivating middle capacity teaching is also possible. If we are fall into the lower realm, and there's nothing we can do, you see. Am I mixing, or is it clear?
Yes, clear. Thank you very much, Geshe.
Okay, yeah.
Geshe?
Yes?
Okay, we have another 8 minutes. So Tammy has written her question and I will read it on her behalf.
Okay.
Tammy mentions that you said, I listened to my mother and my niece and so forth. So
Yeah.
she's asking, may there be a middle way to listen to some and still go the way of renunciation some? Is it possible?
Yes, I did. I tried, yes. Exactly what she wrote in the question, I tried. Yes. I was not totally buried with them, you see. I spent a lot of time helping so many poor people. I'm spending a lot of time to keep teaching. And whatever money I get, I try to help other people. I don't give everything to my niece and my family of my niece. No. Maybe 10%, maybe I will give less than 10%. And then I'm spending much, much less. This time, because of the COVID-19, I spent a lot of time here. Otherwise, the maximum time I spend here is only about 20 days or maybe 10 days. So I'm trying as asked by the, I try to go to the middle way, or a little bit better than the middle way. I think many of you have seen my life. So am I saying truth or?
Yes, definitely the truth. Tammy, you have some other question? Okay. I think Tammy is saying thank you.
Okay. Tada Rabbi.
Okay. We have another 5 minutes if anyone wants to ask a question.
Yes. But it is easier if we meet face to face, then they have a lot of questions, you see. Now we don't see each other so much, but you see me, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I have a question.
Yes?
Geshe, good morning. Good to see you.
Okay.
My question is how to rightly approach all the Buddhist teaching, which subject to address better first, or gradually to study a little bit of this, little bit of this, little bit of this, and like in growing like a spiral way,
Yeah.
or better to step by step?
Oh, it is better step by step, yes. I think the best way, now according to my experience meeting many different people and different friends, I think the best way to start is, as His Holiness always say, that try not to harm anybody, and then if possible, try to help others as much as possible. I think this is a very good starting point. And this is also applicable to the people who doesn't follow Buddhism or any religion, you see. Try to help others and try not to harm others. If possible, try to help others as much as possible. This doesn't need any religion. And this is just common sense, you see. If someone helps me, I feel very happy. So I use my common sense. I also try to use my common sense, and I will try to help. Others will be happy like me. If someone bullies me or harm me, I feel so terrible. From there, I learn that I should not harm anybody, because they will also feel the same terrible feeling. And then through this practice, slowly, you will learn how to cultivate compassion. And through this practice, you will learn how to practice unconditional love. Why? Because not harming others means not giving problem to others. And not giving problem is not enough. Try to help them to solve their problem. And that is compassion. And then try to help them to make them happy is unconditional love. So I think this is a very good starting point. You always, as soon as you wake up, say, today I will try my best not to harm anybody. By using my physical body, by using my speech, and by using my thought, I will not harm anybody. Directly or indirectly, I will not harm anybody. And today you make a promise in the morning. And then you work. And then during the time, you will meet so many different people. And then you start having situation that you may harm. Then you say, no, I promise in the morning that I will not harm anybody. Just from your sincere heart, You don't have to show anybody. You don't have to announce to anybody. Just from your heart, I promise that I will not harm anybody. Because no one becomes happy if we harm, And then this is too limited, because human beings have so much potential. Therefore, I will try my best to help others as much as you can. Actually, it is possible to help a lot. Sometimes giving a smile, sincere smile, sincere shake hand, a sincere respect. You don't have to be rich, you see. If you want to help others, you don't have to be rich, you see. You don't have to be a millionaire. You can help a lot with your speech, with your thought, with your body. You can do so many good things. So these are with us. We don't have to acquire from different things. It is all with us. Therefore, start today. I will not harm anybody. Means I don't want to say harsh words, piercing words, rough words to others. I don't want to show my face, angry face to others. I don't want to hit other people. I don't want to think of harming other people. I don't want to think of dividing the close friends, dividing. So all these things, if you just go on thinking, practicing, you will slowly become a compassionate human being. And then try to help them so that they will be very happy. Try to help them. So I think this is a symbol. Once I was in Israel, it was many years ago. And one of the young men, his name was Tom, he was sick in the hospital with cancer. and he was about to die. And then my friend Mary and Inath, they took me there to pay a visit to him. And I visited. He was breathing with some machines. His condition was terribly bad. Okay, there's not much hope to survive. So we talked quite a lot. Okay, we talked quite a lot. And he was doing meditation. He was saying Om Mani Padme Hum quietly. And then I asked him, when he is about to die, and please call us. And I was giving teaching in Tubal. And then they called me and said, now Tubal is on the way, dying. So then we said some few words and like prayers and like this. And after finishing our retreat, then we went to this family. You also do some prayers after 7 days in Jewish tradition. So I did my Buddhist prayer and they did their Jewish tradition. And then we have had dinner together. And the father of the tomb asked me, why Buddhism is becoming so popular in this world? And then I said, maybe it is very useful. We can use it in a very simple way and also in a very complicated way. And he said, what is the simple way? And I said, and try not to harm anybody, directly or indirectly, and then try to help others as much as possible. And that is, in short, this is the Buddhism. And he said, oh, this is easy, okay? And he was businessman, busy. This is very easy, okay? And we were having dinner. After about finished dinner, he said, oh, no, this is not at all easy. This is so complicated. Yes. If you analyze, try not to harm, what does it mean? What is harm? And then what is behind not harming others? What is behind this, okay? And then what is the result of not harming? And try to help others. What is teaching behind this? So all this, and then it becomes really complicated. And then this two sentence, try to not harm anybody and try to help others as much as possible, is condensed version of Buddhism. So I think this is, you already know, but maybe I'm unnecessarily explaining. So if you start practicing Buddhism, I think this is a very good starting point. Okay?
Thank you, Geshe.
Yeah. Are you happy or not happy?
Very happy.
Okay.
Okay, Genla, thank you. I think we
Okay.
hit our time. So
Okay, now.
I want to thank you. Oh, go ahead. You want to?
Okay. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. And then we will meet next time on the 22nd, isn't it?
Yes, next week.
Okay.
Same time, same
Okay.
place.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
Shila, thank you very much. Before I unmute everyone, to say thank you
Okay.
very much and for your inspiring teaching. I'm sure we will all go and try to have
Okay.
motivation
Thank
to
you
make
so much.
to develop renunciation. Thank you. And
Okay. Yeah.
I want, before everyone goes, just a few concluding words. I want to tell everyone this is the session has been recorded on YouTube. So if you'd like to see it again, you can watch it on the DFI YouTube channel. And of course, previous sessions, the last 2 weekends, if you missed that as well, it's also there. So you can find the teachings on the DFI YouTube, and the link you can find on the homepage of the DFI. Also, I've pasted in the chat the link for anyone who wants to contribute any kind of donation. You have all the information there, so please copy the information from the chat. And one last thing, in 1 hour, we will continue with Ani Losang, who will do the question answer and this topic of renunciation. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you. Yeah.
And have a good day.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Geshe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. That deep would be. Some more. Well, on the deal.